Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Honey Pub. I am Vivi, and we have a very special guest with us today. Please welcome Jasmine Thompson. Thank you so much for being here.
No, of course. Thank you for having me.
You've been in the industry from such a young age. Where did you first find that interest in music?
Um, I always loved listening to like songs in the car with my family, and I remember that my older brother was having singing lessons at the time. I think it came in his school program or his his education system, and I just was obsessed with copying everything he did. Like, if he didn't like to eat a certain food, I didn't want to do it. And I remember he was singing, and I was really interested in trying it. But my mum told me, I'm not going to let you do singing unless you learn how to play the piano, because she believed that if I wanted to do music, I should try and learn an instrument. And I'm grateful she said that because it's come really in handy with like writing songs. And I think when I was about 8, I started doing singing lessons and just, yeah, went on from there really.
Oh, that's lovely. Uh, who or what are some of your musical influences?
I was obsessed with Florence and the Machine. She's my absolute like goddess. I've actually got a tattoo of her, and I think she's the best singer. And then there's people like Paolo Nutini, who was a huge like favorite in my mum's kitchen and stuff while we were cooking. Yeah.
That's amazing. You signed with Atlantic Records at just 13, which is amazing. What's something you'd say to your younger self to prepare her for her future?
I guess just take things slowly. I think when I was younger, I was super excited. I mean, it was such like a crazy opportunity, and I didn't really know what to relate it to, and it just felt like this whole new world I was entering. And I think I would tell myself to also just have like a lot more confidence. I think I really struggled to believe that I was getting signed, and I struggled to believe that people actually, liked my voice. And no matter how many subscribers I had on YouTube or people who listened to my music, I would just still feel really unsure about myself. And I think, you know, it's it stopped me from enjoying it sometimes, which is such a shame. And I think the one thing I'd tell my younger self is just to just go for it a bit more and be more confident.
Yeah, I think that's amazing because yeah, definitely like nerves definitely like get you down and don't let you enjoy thoroughly
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, exactly. I think like it can ruin a moment, and I just sometimes I wish I just like would like shake it off and like just go for it instead.
Yeah, definitely. So you just released After Goodbye. How do you think this era of Jasmine sets itself apart from previous one?
I think it's coming from a slightly more isolated place. Like, with everything that's gone on over the last year or two through lockdown, it's become such a thing for me about just I've been really just thinking, and I think musically it's gone to a much calmer position for the last few songs I've put out, like After Goodbye, my last two songs, Already There and Happy For You. They're all coming from like a more emotionally raw place because I've had a lot more time to think. And I think, a lot changes in 2 years. A lot can happen, and I think mentally I've just grown a little bit, I'd say, from my last few songs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely COVID has made us like more like far from people and we just want to keep things more to ourselves. And
Yeah.
I think that's been shown a lot recently in music and I love to see that.
Yeah, definitely. I think hopefully the next stage is to like be more open again, because
Yeah.
I think now I'm putting the songs out, I'm like, oh wow, like it feels really good to show people what I'm thinking or like talk to people like through music. And now I'm like, okay, I need to tell everyone absolutely like everything that's going on in my head.
Yeah, definitely. So you're releasing an EP this fall.
Mm.
Can we get any hints on the tracks that haven't come out yet and what vibes can fans look forward to?
Just I've spent, you know, majority of lockdown I've just spent at home, like writing songs on the piano, and I've just been really like trying to figure out where my head's been at. I guess expect a lot of more, I don't know, sad songs really. Like it was a tough time, and I think me in my head, I was just like the people I was writing with, like I was just trying new things and trying to figure out new ways of how to explain what was like what I was thinking musically, where I was. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Um, so a few years ago, you kind of reset yourself and took some time off of music.
Mm.
What moment in your career made you feel that the reset was necessary?
I think I realized I was a bit overwhelmed. I was really busy touring and traveling at the time, and I think I was having a great time and I was very grateful. But I think I left school to do music full time when I was about 14, 15. And then I spent 3 years just on the road and traveling, which was absolutely incredible. But I really missed home and I missed my family and my friends, and I felt a little bit overwhelmed. I think I was just like, I need to really figure out who I am as a person. And I think I realized music is very personal. And also, when you're an artist, I think you're very in like people's view quite a lot, especially when you're on social media. And I was really thinking that I don't know who I am yet, and I think I'm getting a bit confused on like what I'm actually supposed to be proving and what my purpose is doing music and what I want to share. So I was on tour and I was touring in Asia. I just had this moment where I just felt really lost, and I was just like, I need to go home and be with my friends. And it was great. It was like, I think one of the best decisions I've ever made, because I don't know, parts of me wishes I could have just continued and pushed on, but I think it's great to give yourself a break sometimes. So I went home back to London and I worked in a restaurant for a year or so and just had a completely different like lifestyle for a year or two, and it was great because it also reminded me that I really liked doing music, and I like learned to love it again. Yeah.
I think that's amazing. And like for
Cheers.
your fans, knowing that you decided to take a break, like for you, like I
Mm.
feel like it's also very special to fans knowing like, oh, like she did it, I can take a break too. And I can
Yeah.
like you become a role model for fans.
Oh, thank you. Cheers. I was worried I would tell people I was giving up, but like you, if you put it
No,
that way, then I appreciate
no,
it.
yeah, I feel like it's definitely like knowing that you can take a break and that like your role model takes a break and continues is just like giving space for your mental health, which is super important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So your track already there takes us back to that time in 2017 when you were
Mm.
on that break. What did you do in that spare time apart from working in the restaurant?
Oh, I think my mum would say that I probably like, I don't know, I was just trying to figure out what I enjoyed other than music. I think I had so much pressure in my head, like, because I do what I love as my career, which I'm so lucky, but I felt really scared about losing it. And I think that made it not as fun. So I was just trying to work in a restaurant, go out, because in London, like, all my friends are here, and I'd missed so much of like the high school parties and the um, every friends like go on holidays after school with each other, and missed a lot of that. So I was just caught up on it. I worked in I worked in Soho, like there's a place called Carnaby Street, which is like bang on in the center, and it's where a lot of tourists go, but it's where a lot of people from Europe also come to work as well. So I made so many different friends who had never been to London, and it felt like we were all discovering it together. So after work, we'd all go out or we'd meet this place and try this place. And yeah, I don't know, I think I was just trying to live. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense since you started your career like a super young age when we're all just like, starting to grow up, and you were like already, in your career. And I think
Mm.
it's super special that you took that time for yourself.
Cheers, thanks.
You mentioned that reset gave you a new perspective. What did you find out about yourself and the world around you?
Mm, I think I just realized I wanted to. Mm, that's a good question. I don't know. I think I was just trying to realize that life shouldn't be as stressful. I think when I was a kid, I was just really anxious. I still am. And I think that break really taught me that it's okay. And a lot of people in my friends, like, really respected me for just coming home and just like taking a little break. And yeah, I felt like I constantly had to like fight for things. Um, and in my head, I was like really trying to prove something to myself, and it felt like it didn't get me anywhere mentally. Yeah, I think when I came home, I was just like, oh, okay, I'm doing what I love, so I should love it and I should like enjoy what I do. Yeah.
I think that's amazing. So Happy for You talks about letting someone you love grow and letting them go. What
Mm.
advice do you have for fans that may be going through the similar situation?
I think like you have to really take care of yourself in those situations as well, because sometimes by holding on to someone else, you can also be damaging yourself. And you know, if if things, I know this is extremely overused and very cliche, but it's like if things are meant to be, then they'll be meant to be, and things will come back around. But sometimes, everyone needs their own space. And I think what I'm really trying to make myself realize and stick to is that I need to just work on me for a long time, and not focus on someone else, because, yeah, you only have one
Yeah.
life.
No, I think that's like a great advice. And, like, growing up, like you have to grow up first before you like can let
Yeah.
someone else. Yeah. So your track Funny was a collaboration with Sid. How did that collab come about?
I was working over in LA for a little bit. I was literally there for like 2 or 3 days, and I was working with these producers called Monsters and Strangers. And they're these really cool guys, and we were just going for it. We were just working on Funny, and I went home to London, and I didn't really hear anything from anyone. It was just, I think I was doing something else. Um, and then my A&R just messaged me like out of the blue, being like, "Hey, like, have you heard of Zed?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, like, I definitely have heard of Zed."
Yeah.
And then he just sent me this version that Zed had like made of Funny, and I didn't realize that the producers that I had worked with were just super close with him. They'd done loads of stuff with him before. I felt really silly for not knowing. Um, and yeah, they sent it over, and I loved it. Like, I don't know. I love collaborating with DJs, and I've done it a few times in the past, and it's been so much fun. The crazy thing was this time though was that was kind of during lockdown. So I was in America just before the lockdown hit, and then found out Zed wanted to um, do a collaboration, and he worked on the track. And then lockdown hits, and then it's like, oh, should we wait? Should we put it out? Are we gonna just like hold still? And did all the music videos in lockdown and like through Zoom and all of this stuff. Like, I don't know. I feel like every artist or every person, and yeah, every single person has just had to like completely change the way that they try and do things. And making music videos at home was so much fun, because it reminded me of being in school. It's like a little like project that you have to do.
I love that. I definitely think like, how creative artists were during lockdown to like still release music or do
Mhm.
like live streams or whatever. And I think it really helped fans throughout lockdown while we were like super down. I think it
Mhm.
was amazing.
Yeah, it really helped me too. Like, I remember seeing some artists that I follow when they did their live streams, because I was getting really paranoid. I was like, I feel like I'm doing too many live streams, or maybe I'm just annoying people. But then I remember one day I think I was lying in bed, and I was just like, I think I had like gotten really sad that day or something, and I saw like one of my favorite artists called Leif Volbeck. He went live so randomly because he never does it, and I just watched it, and he just played piano for like 2 hours, and I was like, this is the most amazing feeling, like having a little home concert.
Yeah, I think they like artists who made live streams, they were just my favorite thing about lockdown because they, I wasn't able to see my friends, I wasn't able to see anyone, but I had like the artist and I had a live stream and it just felt like a special time, even though I was in my house.
I know, yeah.
So if you could choose any artist, who would be your dream collaboration?
Ah, I'd love to do like a singing duet. I don't know. I think there's so many artists, especially like in the UK or maybe over in America. I think it could be nice to just sing and be able to do like harmonies. I think maybe like a male singer. I love all the stuff that like, JP Sachs has been doing with like Julia Michaels and that whole vibe. I think I've never done that before because I've always ended up doing collaborations with DJs, and I want to do it with a singer. I'm not sure who, but it should be fun.
Yeah, that would be lovely. I'm looking forward to seeing it one day and hearing it. Um, so you've co-written for some of our faves like Selena Gomez. How did you approach these projects differently than your own?
The funny thing about the Selena Gomez one, I feel like it happened completely by accident. I was working with a writer called Justin Tranter, who's based in LA. He's an incredible songwriter, and I was really lucky to work with him when I was still quite young. And we started writing this song, and he's just so friendly and energetic, and he was just like, we can just write whatever you want today. And I had this idea. I think I was like, when you're like, I don't know, 14, 15, something, and you're like dating someone, and most of the time it's just like, it's whatever. I can't even remember what their surname was now, and it's like a little fling. It was one of those, and I think they were really annoying me or something. And I was just like, I'm seeing this guy, and he's being really rude, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, okay, like we take the topic and you go for it. And he like took the words out of my mouth, and basically we did the song, but I think I just thought it wasn't my sort of song to do. I don't know. I think I was having so much fun writing it, and that was the first time I had written something that I was like, this isn't right for me, but I love the song and I feel like someone else should have it. At the time, Justin was working with Selena already, and he sent it to her and just kind of, yeah, she took it. She was like, oh, I love this. Like, she worked on it and she did the vocals. And I remember I was visiting one of the producers who was there in the studio when I went to Stockholm for the first time. I went to the producer called Rami Yakub. I went to his studio and heard her vocals in it for the first time, and like, I like almost lost it because I used to watch her on Disney Channel, and it was amazing.
That's amazing. I love how the story came from, and it's just amazing. I love it. So what's your favorite lyric you've ever written?
um, there is a song that's coming out, and I don't know. I probably shouldn't like say it anyway, but it's coming out for the next batch of songs, and I keep dropping it on Instagram. I keep like leaking it here and there, and like quite a lot of people just already know what the song is about. But I think my favorite lyric is, it's easy to become someone's doormat when they say that you need patience with love. And it's basically like trying to learn when someone is like abusing the situation, or your patience and your love for them. Sometimes people can, really push you too far, and they hurt you sometimes. I think that's my favorite lyric. I was like, oh, I feel really wise. I don't
That
know.
sounds amazing. You were saying, and I was like, oh my God, wow.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think it's something like a lot of people can relate to. And unfortunately, a lot of people can relate to that. But yeah.
yeah. Thanks though. Cheers.
You have a huge social media following. How important do you think it is for an artist to be on those platforms?
I think it is important because it's nice that people get to see what you do or your personality. But I also think if it's not for you, then you don't have to. I think there's so many other ways that you can connect to people through. If you are first and foremost music, go connect with them through music. There's still ways to share. It might not be as instant or as accessible to some people, but you can still go for it. If your main thing is art or film or photos, it might be, if it's something more visual, then it might be easier using social media. And I don't know, I think I struggle with it because I think everyone struggles with it. Like, if I'm
Yeah.
honest, I think half of my friendship group is completely off of social media and the other half are on it. And I don't know. Sometimes I love it and sometimes I hate it. And I think it's healthy to take breaks, especially like after the years that we've had. Um, yeah, I don't know. I do think it's a good tool. It's very great how much it can share. I mean, like, I started on YouTube, and back then, like, I don't know, there weren't as many like cover artists or singers and people popping off on like Instagram and TikTok. It was just like YouTube and Facebook. And I was so lucky to like break through on that platform. So now there is so much great talent on Instagram and TikTok. You just got to find your niche and you got to just keep going, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I think social media is not for everyone because I know it can be really difficult. There's a lot of hate on social media. But yeah, I feel like it's definitely a really cool way to connect with artists and stuff.
Mm. I was thinking about it today, like I've really not remembered, especially because I feel like my only connection with people is through social media over the last year. I find it really hard to remember that I need to do things in real life. Like, I do need to start like going out there and meeting friends and like going to gigs more, doing my own gigs, reaching out to people and saying you want to go get coffee and stuff. Like, I forget now because all I see is just social media, and I stare at my phone constantly, and that's when I think, you need a bit of a break.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think it
Mm.
happens to a lot of us, and sometimes we just kind of forget that there's actually life outside social media.
Yeah.
Mainly like with COVID, since we were like on social media so much because we had
Yeah.
nothing else to do, it became like, oh yeah, right, there's life after this.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have a devoted fan base. What's your favorite way to connect with them?
I think right now it is on I think Instagram, like stories and stuff. I think it feels super easy and like personal. But I also think I really miss posting videos onto YouTube. Like, I haven't really been crazy active as much as I used to be. And I think, I don't know, I miss like, that's the good thing about lockdown is like I've actually relearned how to record at home and be more like on it, and being able to be more productive in my own space. And I think the next thing that I really want to work on is actually getting a good flow of, because I play piano pretty much normally like every day and sing almost every day, and I'm normally practicing or um, writing, and I'm just like, why have I gotten out of the habit of actually like filming it and sharing it? So I'd like to get back into YouTube basically.
I would love to see that. So hopefully you do.
Cheers.
So is there a fan name for your fans?
There used to be. There was one which was like, oh God, it was like Tantrum Nators. Basically, my YouTube channel was Tantrum Jazz, and like it was a long story, but my mum's like ex, we did not get along, and I used to like traumatize him, and he used to say that I had tantrums all the time, so it went on to be my name for like nicknames on YouTube. um and then people just started calling it, I just feel like I have such a long name, like I don't know what people are actually supposed to like turn it into. I've always wanted to just like shorten it down just to Jazz, because if anyone calls me like Jasmine, I feel like I'm getting told off because I don't know, it's too long. So I don't know. I'm trying to see what people might want to call themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times just like the fans name themselves, like they decide what
Yeah.
they're gonna call themselves.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. So what can we look forward to from you apart from the
A lot
EP?
more. Well, yeah. Just a lot more music, really. I think I'm so eager as well just to create more with other artists and creators like videographers and photography. I think what I've realized is music is so connected to visual um, things, you know. Like for me, when I think of a song and I write a song, I can normally picture what I want the music video to slightly be like, or it's giving me certain feelings. And I think I I just want to be more active in my own life, and then a ripple effect of that will hopefully be shown to like my supporters. Um, yeah, eventually I'm going to start gigging again. I think, especially around like, you know, London, UK, or wherever's like safe to do. And, you know, it's hard to imagine like booking like a crazy tour. But yeah, eventually I'll like do like little surprise gigs in different towns, maybe. Who knows?
I love that. I'm looking forward to it and we'll keep an eye on you.
Ah, thank you.
So Jasmine, it was amazing talking to you.
Yeah,
Thank you
you.
so much for being here.
No, of course. Thank you for having me. Cheers.